Have you seen the light? You never will unless you embrace ontological mathematics, reality's own language, what it uses to know and understand itself, and that in which it is ontologically written. Why is humanity so flawed? Because it uses man-made languages, not reality's inbuilt language, to understand itself. If you don't know the universal language, the eternal and necessary language, you will be forever lost, just like Ken Wilber, imprisoned by his own fallacious Buddhist beliefs, and every bit as far from enlightenment as the Buddha himself was. Why would anyone follow a man, the Buddha, who self-evidently wasn't enlightened? How can an unenlightened person tell you what enlightenment is? How can a genuinely enlightened person fail to explain what reality is made of and what laws it obeys? Ontological mathematics explains everything. Buddhism explains nothing. If you studied Buddhism forever, you would still be unable to answer the most basic question, the ontological question, what is existence made of? If you cannot answer that question exactly, you are anything other than enlightened. Everything flows from the unique rational and logical answer to the ontological question. As soon as someone tells you that enlightenment is subjective, that everyone has their own truth and own path to enlightenment, you know they are charlatan. Anyone anywhere can simply self-declare that they are enlightened. How would anyone else be able to verify it? The enlightened, those that claim that they have meditated and become enlightened, are either the biggest frauds in the world, or those most prone to self-deception. We don't think they deceive themselves, we think they deceive you, and love doing so, because it gives them power over you. More fool you for believing them. Only the PSR can set you free. Reason and logic, when properly conducted, never lie. As Gödel so rightly said, but every error is due to extraneous factors, such as emotion and education. Reason itself does not err. If reality is made of reason, which is to say of ontological mathematics, then it is literally impossible for it to make a mistake. At the level of mathematical syntax, this is indeed the case. Error in the world doesn't belong to the rational layer of syntax but to the empirical layer of semantics. Imagine that a highly emotional person gets extremely upset and carries out a very rash action that a more considered person would never have done. The error lies in the emotional response. By their nature, feelings aren't accurate and measured. To act on emotion is to act on something that will not deliver a correct answer. There is no correct answer in these terms. Feelings do not concern answers. They are ways of responding, of relating, of reacting, of discharging tension, or of building tension, of allowing for instant judgment. They have a vital function, but that function is not about delivering accurate answers. It's about delivering a rapid response. Sometimes, speed is essential. In a life or death situation, you can't wait to perform accurate calculations. Human life is attuned to the semantic layer of existence, not the syntactic layer. Human existence is about the experience of life, not the structure of life. This means that existence in relation to becoming, the temporal and contingent order, isn't optimized for structure, but it is in relation to being, the eternal and necessary order. The syntax, the mathematical structure, of a feeling is always immaculate, error-free, but the feeling itself is the source of error. Error is its nature. The same goes for perception, based on the limited, fallible, unreliable, delusional human senses, and for mystical intuition. Only reason, logic and intellectual intuition trade in accuracy. People are appallingly confused about ontological structure. There's a simple reason for that. They never encounter it as it is in itself. They only see its effects, and its effects are very different from what it actually is. Reality in itself is entirely sinusoidally wave-based, but no one sees sinusoidal waves, and nor can they conceive of such things. It's an intellectual leap too far. Noumenal sinusoids are externally encountered as phenomenal matter, the sensory stuff of the world, the stuff that science observes and studies. People are prisoners of their level of intellect. All the false theories they invent are the consequence of their failure to be smart enough. One day, When everyone is smart enough, everyone will be an ontological mathematician. Until then, people will remain in the jail of their ignorance, believing one ridiculous thing after another. Sorry to disappoint everyone, but this life we are all leading is not a test of strength of faith, prayer, meditation, mindfulness, chanting, revelation, mysticism, or use of powerful, hallucinogenic drugs. It's actually an intelligence test and is all about calculating the exact answer to existence. Well, this is a mathematical reality, after all. However, here's one thing that will come as the greatest of tidings for you. To even be reading this book shows that you are smart enough. You've already passed the test. You're already on the way to the highest knowledge. You're far ahead of the pack. You're out of sight. Well done, you. We came across the following statement: I use the words consciousness and mind interchangeably. You would think things had moved on from Descartes in this regard. Mind is not consciousness. Mind, in the domain of becoming, is foundationally unconscious and must evolve consciousness. Leibniz, very shortly after Descartes, showed that the unconscious exists and must be taken into account. To all those who say that mind and consciousness are interchangeable, what then is the unconscious? By your own logic, you must deny its existence, which means you reject the entirety of modern psychology. In terms of being, mind is eternally and necessarily conscious, but this is a consciousness nothing like that which temporal and contingent humans enjoy, and cannot be referenced in the same terms. The domain of becoming starts with the Big Bang, which scrambles mind to the maximum degree. It creates absolute unconsciousness. The cosmic mind, in relation to becoming, forgets everything as it begins its long, dialectical, cosmic journey. Consciousness is something that then evolves from the unconscious. Consciousness is a potentiality rather than an integral feature of a becoming mind. Consciousness, as an inherent mental feature, is exclusively connected to being, to the properties of what we can refer to as the Aristotelian God, or the Hegelian absolute idea, or the living PSR, or the maximum expression of Nietzsche's will to power, or Plato's form of the good. You have got to understand the difference between being and becoming. What is the infinite mystery? What does the term God denote? Infinite mystery. What does the term randomness denote? Infinite mystery. What does the principle of sufficient reason denote? No mystery at all, an explanation of everything. Why would you reject the PSR in favor of God or randomism, or non-dualism for that matter?